How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to NördForge. Today I wanted to start making a watchtower, basically from scratch. I started off with XPS foam on this extremely cheap foam cutter. And then I cut out with 6mm baseboard, just a simple 5x5 inch square, so that it would be playable. And then I quickly made 1,000,000 bricks and went to town. Looking back, I probably should have just done this maybe with clay and a texture roller. Then I moved on to polystyrene. I wanted the thing to have floors, and the polystyrene, the white, would act as a floor. And as you can see here, I'm doing the same thing I did in the bunker video, where I go ahead and make blank lines. Then I take a toothpick and start making some nail holes. And then I gave it a nice dark brown, and when it dried, gave it a pretty heavy brushing of raw sienna. These are just basic acrylic paints. I had an idea in my head. I really didn't have this down too much. I had no blueprints, kind of just winged it. And now I'm cutting some wooden beams, and I take my wire brush and drag it along, not too hard, just real lightly, give it some texture. Take my scalpel just a few times, just for that little extra look. And then I use a little bit of super glue. It's not foam safe super glue, so be careful if you use this. It's this Gorilla super glue. As long as you don't use too much, it won't burn through the XPS foam. And I made this little ladder that I'll use later, and just gave it a nice dark wash. And 3D printed a cannonball that will explode. I wanted to make this a dilapidated structure that has taken immense damage, yet is still standing. So travelers that go by may see an opportunity to stop and camp and rest. Our rogue character Vex and her little knight friend, as you'll see later on in the video, will do just that. And now I'm carving out a door. Measured the size of the 3D printed door that I found on Thingiverse, which I'll put a link in the description below. Then I Mod Podged the entire thing. This is also to give it very good structural strength. And I moved on to the top. This was not going to have a roof or anything. It's just going to have a little balcony. At one point could have stood on and kept an eye out. And just trimming off the ends. And I decided while I was trimming off the ends to also make damage to the beams. Like they were either hit by who knows what or just rotting away. Again, very sporadic, not planned. You kind of just go with it. When that was done, I gave it the same dark brown I did with the floors. And that was complete. I taped off the hole and took it outside to spray paint. I spray painted it just a plain gray. I actually used a primer gray. It was safe to spray paint because the Mod Podge gave it a safe coating, if you will. Then I decided to put some wooden planks in the windows to make it look like somebody tried to board it up as a abandoned structure or to keep somebody out. Also gave the bricks a very sporadic light yellow and creamy white and then a dark gray, which will all have a very dark wash later, as you'll see in a moment. I've seen this technique a few times on other channels, so I decided to give it a try myself and see what it would look like. And to my surprise, it actually looks very decent. And these stone windows as well didn't quite come out the way I wanted them to, but in the end they still look alright. And of course this is the 3D printed door you saw earlier. I simply painted that a raw sienna brown and gave it some brass colors from army paints. And as you saw earlier, I actually used dry decks, which is a type of spackle that goes on pink, and when it dries it turns out white. And I used that to fasten in the door. It's just something I wanted to try, and it came out great. And this is the cannonball, now spray painted. That will go right into the front as if it was shot and sitting there lodged right into the front of the tower. Took my foam cutter, which has a little rod extender that you can kind of use to carve away and cut, and used a couple reference photos of some damaged concrete and old castles and carved away. Then I took my scalpel to kind of finish it off. I really wanted to make this thing look like it really took a hit, but probably from really far away, as if it just didn't have enough power to go all the way through. And the hole itself, I just Mod Podged it very heavily. Really wanted it to darken. When this Mod Podge dries, as you can see around the edge of the hole above it, it gets very dark. Then I just pushed in the cannonball, not too hard, and gave that very sporadic yet heavy dry brush of War Paint's Army Painter, I think it's Iron. In the back, I decided to lodge a tea light candle and just glue it in place, and then wire that all together with the little lantern I have above. If you want to see how I made the little lantern, there are a couple videos that you can see that I'll link. Then I decided to add some rubble, which I just gave a dark gray, and kind of randomly placed outside of the hole on each side. And on top I wanted to put some rope as if somebody was trying to keep this railing together. And now came the wash. I used black acrylic with a couple of drops of black ink, carbon black, I believe it's called, and just went to town. No real direction, just wanted this whole thing to have a really dark wash, really look grimy and old. The only thing I did not touch with the wash was actually the wooden balcony up top. I've already given that a brown wash. And then up top, I decided to make more damage and put these planks made out of popsicle sticks, same thing I did with the windows, just so somebody could walk across and still use the balcony. And I'll give it one more wash of just regular brown. And some Eileen's glue, spread it around with a popsicle stick, and then drop some flocking. It's just to kind of give the sense of moss growing all in the dark spots and grooves. Even in the cannonball cracks. And some shrubbery. Again, no real plan. Just kind of wanted to make this thing look like it had not been used in many years. Add some vines to the damaged ladder. And yes, I'm using, once again, some super glue, because at this point it has Mod Podge and plenty of paint over it. Then after adding a flag, I decided to make a little bird's nest, and the eggs are just clay. Then I added my little wanted poster that I used on the D&D bunker in the previous videos that I'll link. And a little Easter egg. If you guys know whose initials these are, go ahead and leave it in the comment section. Not sure why I decided to do this, I just did. Thought it would look a little cool. And that was basically the last thing I did. This build was highly enjoyable. Took a lot of time, but in the end, in my eyes, was worth it. And here are the final shots. I hope you guys enjoyed. Give me a like if you would be so kind. And make sure you guys enjoy your week. Have a good one.